Yo, what's good with everybody? It's your boy John Smooth, and I'm gonna make this video. Roads were originally rivers. Basically, in ancient times, when the planet was growing, things like that, before man thought he could control nature and things of that nature, where we are now, rivers were the way that people would trade, people would move across the land, right? So roads, a lot of this stuff, railroads, a lot of it was created to actually control the movement of the land, control the supplies, control the shipments, right? Because basically, like our veins, water would connect all the people throughout the land. Everyone would be connected. They would be able to see everything through the waterways. They'd take a boat, canoe, and you'd be able to flow across the stream and go to anywhere you want to go. But now with roads, it's very unsustainable due to the fact that we have to use gas, which is pumped out of the ground, and it's causing places like Afghanistan, places like third world countries, the blue water can turn into black water just in the matter of 10 years, based on if the government is trying to pump oil or how much or whatever the case, right? So we got to start seeing, as these banking societies become more and more unsustainable, and the people that run these banking societies, we look into politics, all of their last names trace back to nun magic, blood magic. So we got to see that this is the origins of a lot of things that we hopelessly, mindlessly defend, right? So we got to see that a lot of this stuff was actually created to control nature and get us in a state of compliance, get us out of our true science, get us all divided, get us pointing fingers at each other, things of that. So they want us thinking that you have to give your soul to have supplies and things like that. It wasn't always like that, right? You'd be able to go outside, fruit trees everywhere, and you'd be able to get whatever fruit you wanted to get without having to obey a government and do all these different things in order to eat, in order to have a sustainable life. So basically, we're going to see banking societies become more unsuitable, right? Because what are banking societies funded from? They're funded from war. So if people see the fact of how war is a business, right? A lot of money is made from war, and they would rather, the royal bloodlines, the 8,000 that control 8 trillion, they would rather have everyone going to them to get stuff. We would be able to trade, we'd be able to communion, we'd be able to do these things, plentiful things everywhere, right? Before factories, dams, and things like that dried out the land, and then people would have to go to towns, go to cities to drink, to do these things, because they were pumping water out of these major points of the land that actually was the starting stream. That's what a dam is a starting stream for a lot of these waterways. So they went to the start of the stream to actually control a lot of this water. It's like think of it as like a blood clot, right? So if we really think about it, we have to create farms, create communities that our kids can actually survive in, because the government wants all of our kids to either be in war, to be mining oils, minerals out of the ground. So that's why a lot of people like states like Florida, Texas, things like that, they're starting to see that a lot of this stuff, we got to start listening to people a little bit more, because if we don't, they're just gonna literally become extinct, because we were ruining the planet. All these things only put the 8,000 in power, the royal bloodlines, right? Search a lot of these last names of these politicians, and you'll find that they trace back to nun magic. the killing of Jesus, they would share the blood of Jesus. A lot of our prophets, they have all this influential power because they literally drunk the blood of all of our influencers that stood up against governments. So we got to see that over time, if you want to fall with the banking society, you're literally just, I don't know, I'm not going to, give the full split, but, if you're dependent on something that is let's say solar shift, right? Solar maximum, like they're talking about the sun, right? Return of the sun. Even in the Bible, they talk about return of the sun, right? So a lot of these things, do you want to be dependent on nature when the sun returns? Or do you want to be dependent on the government that ruined nature when the sun returns? It's all up to you to be able to see and discern what is really going on this planet. And if you want a sustainable life for your kids, or if you want them dependent on wars, mining, it's all about the mass, right? What we do will influence, the future, right? Because it's about the kids, right? So rivers were originally roads, or roads were originally rivers. And, like, think of it like this: trading society. Everything is plentiful. Everything is, you don't have to work. You don't have to be mindlessly doing something to be able to feed your family. You don't have to kill people that were demonized by the government to feed your family. A lot of these different aspects, America's going to start waking up about. And, it's all up to us to see the system that we've built. It's an utter lie, right? It's not sustainable. Factories, dams, oil rigs, a lot of these things are like blood clots on the land, and they're profiting from the destruction of the land, right? Because let's say the land was plentiful, no division, no separation, everything was flowing. A lot of these things wouldn't be the way it is. No war. People wouldn't have to kill each other to get food. People wouldn't have to do a lot of these things, right? So roads were originally rivers, right? And seeing this over time, we will see how a lot of these constructs built with roads, built with railroads, right? They're going to fall as the sun returns. This is science. You can ask Neil deGrasse Tyson, the idiot. A lot of these people they put in the forefront to represent things, they're going to even start waking up to see that they've built the lie, and they were the enemy the whole time, demonizing nations that wanted to be dependent on nature. So it's our responsibility to properly discern. And because, it's up to us, right? We're the future. And I'm going to leave it here, right? Roads were originally rivers. So as this banking society falls, we will see how we will have to create a life for our kids, create communion, create plants, create water, sustainable water sources, right? Because we don't want our kids being dependent on wars, being dependent on mining, right? This is what the whole world is dependent on. The vulnerability of third world countries having to work to eat. This is what everything is fed on, war. So we got to see, we should be able to come together for peace, not to be divided to live, right? We shouldn't have to do all these things to, even all these ideas of sacrificing something to get something. A lot of these sciences are going to be breaking down, right? And we have to see this, know this, to properly move forward in the return of the sun, right? Because what did they do in the Bible? They put a being in the place of the return of the sun. And a lot of this, they've tried to manifest it in a way where the government, 8,000 royal bloods, they still stay in power. But as time goes on, these sacrificial sciences are truly breaking down. And people are going to have to choose a side. Are you going to be with nature when the sun returns? Or are you going to be with the government when the sun returns? And it's going to be all about what you want for your kids. Do you want your kids in war? Do you want your kids mining? Because a lot of these things, you know, it's going to be up to America. It's going to be up to the mass on what happens to this planet. And know this, right? Know that roads, right? Concrete, all of these things are disconnecting us from our connection with nature. So come back to nature, connect with nature, you know, see how a lot of these constructs, a lot of these things, you know, parasites are going to have to reveal a lot of, like, parasites will, I'm going to cut that out. So basically, I'm going to finish the video off here, y'all. So parasites being these, you know, Rockefeller. Wait 1 second. Rockefeller being one of the major owners of oil. Yeah. So yeah, they're gonna try to reveal the truth in a way where they stay in power, but I'm gonna reveal the truth because I'm gonna reveal it the way it is, right? They're trying to reveal it in a way. Here we have another example, right? Indian schools where they would, in quote, by R.H. Pratt, kill the Indian in him and save the man. So basically you had these jokers via nun magic literally sucking the life force out of kids and also raping bloodlines that they would see aren't needed in the new government, which is very wrong, right? Kill the Indian in him and save the man, R.H. Pratt. R.H. Pratt being a war general, right? So here we have a example. You got the lighter kids in the front and the darker ones in the back, right? I think I was thinking about another picture, but I'll show y'all. Like, this is a real thing. Like, we can't be sitting here acting like, yeah, here we go. They would go to the school like this, right? Whether taken from a reservation, whatever the case, they would be taken like this, and they would turn into this. Via the system, every man created equal, right? R.H. Pratt, kill the Indian and save the man. And, you know, I mean, you know, is this what America is proudly standing for? I mean, you know, a lot of these things are going to have to be revealed, right? So it's John Smooth. That's it for the video. I'm out. Peace.